I have no clue if this is working.
Awesome. That's perfect.
I see it. I have no clue if this is working. There it is.
Awesome.
Let's get rid of that delay. Crispy.
I mean, the picture's good. So that's something.
Hopefully there's audio. Otherwise, this would be a pointless conversation.
I hear audio on my end.
All right, my man. So,
how are things?
Things are good. And since there's an audience of 0, this is exactly the conversation I want to have. And we're just going to start with, hi, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good, Clark. How are you, man?
So, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Are you getting tacos tonight? I'm having tacos.
I don't think so. Actually, I think we're having steak.
Make them steak tacos.
I think it's because of the lack of ingredients maybe in our house.
Oh. That could be.
There's a certain virus going around on this day.
What is that?
I don't know. Corona?
I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news.
It's Corona. It seems appropriate for Cinco de Mayo.
It does. Taco Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo. All of it.
So, we're obviously streaming on Twitch for those who are watching. And the point of our conversation today is to have an unfiltered conversation about getting started. So I am getting started with a viewership of 0. I don't have everything set up. I have lots of questions. You've been doing this for a while.
Sure.
We've done podcasts and things in the past. So middle-aged, dude in life. I guess my first question for you is it too late to start?
Oh, no. So you're tapping into one of my favorite subjects, which is starting. So in my opinion, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time to start was today. Because that's your only option, right?
Yeah.
I started streaming at 43 years old. It's not like I have a massive following. It's not like it's thousands of people. It's hundreds of people. But it's taken me solidly 8 months to figure out if I even know what I'm doing. There's literally, if we just talk about streaming, let's not talk about the fact that I'm live coding or that we're like the content, just the art of streaming. I have 4 different pieces of software. I have $3,000 worth of equipment sitting in my office. And I spend a ton of time tweaking and modifying and changing all of the design of what I show. Right? I started exactly where you are. We had side-by-side video panels.
Yep.
And eventually I was like, well, that's cool, but I want to put stuff on this. So then I shrunk the boxes and started adding lower thirds and doing all the other stuff. You just have to start before you can possibly answer any of the other questions.
And so here we are, starting, and I intentionally didn't get anything really set up. So I expected I didn't go get my mic that I had from the podcasting days.
Right.
I didn't set up anything other than I installed Skype this morning. I've used Ecamm in the past. We'll get into that. I did set up the new camera.
Camera looks
good. And that's it. I threw a logo up and said, okay, I got a lot of dumb questions. So I want to revisit the conversation we had on Friday a little bit. I think it was Friday or Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday.
Which was Twitch versus LinkedIn versus YouTube versus whatever. And this is something that I've been probably hemming and hawing about way too long because it's kind of been all over the place. I guess in one sense it doesn't really matter, but you've been on Twitch. What's been your findings with it? Your experience?
Oh, sure. So the nice thing about Twitch is that there's a lot of mechanisms set up to work with your audience, your live audience, right? I think that YouTube and a lot of the other places are really good at thinking about the asset that is the video that I made, and how do I get that to people, and how do I distribute it, search, and do all that other stuff. But Twitch really seems to be built around engaging right now. And so the tools and the stuff that I have out of the box are fantastic. Right? They have mechanisms for me to try to make money, which I'm not really interested in for this purpose. But I'm also I can use those monetization metrics to also drive engagement. Right? So I can have people interact with me in a number of ways. They have an awesome chat API. So I decided I was going to sit down and build a chatbot. And so now on my channel, if you type exclamation point lamp space and then the name of any color, including any text value, the lamp that's behind me in this scene changes to that color. Right, so it's fun things like that I've built to allow that kind of engagement. I don't know if anybody else is hearing it, but I did see somebody say they're getting an echo. I think that are you playing my audio on some kind of speaker there?
Yes, like I said, I don't have this.
No, it's totally fine. That's
why I have headphones on. I bet I can do this.
That'll do it.
So let's just talk about it. Oh, let me see if this even connects. So, audio's important. Video's important. No, can't hear me at all now, can you? I lost you.
Can't hear you.
Oh, here it goes. No?
But there's no audio coming. There we go.
Yeah.
Something just happened. Now I hear you. Yeah. But it's the AirPod mic. Now it's not your regular mic.
Right. So I wonder. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well.
But I will also tell you, any background noise you had, and you had a little bit of white noise, it's gone.
It's gone. Well, is that now because you're hearing me here, or because?
Yeah. The microphone that we were using was picking up just the air noise in your room. It is perfectly silent right now, except for your voice.
Yeah, but that's still the device streaming. So at least the echo's gone. So let's back up. So this fully anticipated the fact that this wasn't going to be set up right, and so I don't have the mic set up. But I was wondering about the reverb back because I was just playing it out of the monitor. So
I gotcha.
Hopefully at least the echo back is good. Next time I'll have. Yeah, I think it's just gone for you though, because you're just listening to me through Skype, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But the Geek on Coffee in the chat said that they were getting an echo. They say they're not seeing video, but I'm looking at your Twitch feed and I see video. So I'm not sure why they're not seeing video. That has to be a them problem, I think.
So it's set up as. Oh yeah, I see it.
I can't tell you how amazingly quiet it is now. Like it was like you had a white noise machine playing in the back, and it's gone.
I wonder what that is. Well, I'll get the audio fix. I mean, I've got a noise gate and all of that goes with it in an interface, a DAC to go into the machine. I just haven't fixed that. I didn't want to wait. Let's put it that way.
No,
like you said, the best time to start is now, and I think part of like starting is learning. And the first thing that you basically just said was put some headphones on because there's an echo.
Yeah.
So we're already winning.
But the thing is that there is some software that kind of negates that, right? It knows that there's audio coming out of your computer, and it accommodates for that, and it eliminates it from what it takes in from the microphone. But it sounds like whatever your setup is not doing that, because we were definitely getting a bounce.
And I'm not actually seeing the comments, which that's another problem because I should be seeing them.
Yeah. So are you on your homepage, twitch.tv/unspecified software?
I am. No, I'm just looking at it through Ecamm.
Oh, okay. Do they put the chat up on the screen for you?
They do. It says comments and reactions. Oops, did I lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Do they what?
I was just asking if they put the chat up on the Ecamm software. I haven't seen that. But, yeah, Geek on Coffee has made 2 comments. One is getting an echo, and 2 is also not seeing video. But the video's working great. Like, I mean, the picture is fantastic. I can see us both split screened right now. I don't know what the audio sounds like. We can hear it. Both split screen right now. Yeah, it sounds really good. Like, your audio situation is already 400% improved.
That's hey, that's something.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask a basic question. I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm just curious, I guess. The interaction model, that, like, when we had that conversation, that's kind of what drove me to, like, okay, let's just kind of lean into Twitch. Yeah. Can be more interactive. Clearly, I don't have something set up right because I'm not even seeing any of this in.
Well, has that been open the whole time we've been streaming?
What's that?
The little chat window in Ecamm?
In Ecamm, but I opened it up in
Twitch?
Yeah, and I mean, I see the people, but I don't see.
So I just posted one. Do you see mine?
Yep.
Okay. So that is one downside to Twitch that I wish they would fix or do something with. But you only can see chat messages from the time you open the window.
Oh.
You don't get to scroll back in history, unfortunately, which is kind of annoying because there's times where I have to refresh the page or do something else where I need to, like...
And then you just lose it.
And I lose everything that was there. And so there was one time where I lost internet connectivity. And so a lot of people were still chatting with me, but I couldn't see them. And then my machine came back online and it refreshed the chat. And I lost everything. And so I had to say, like, hey, you might have asked me a question, but I don't know what it is. But if you post it again, we'll do it. Because that's just it's just the downside to how some of this stuff works.
So when you interact with folks, so I'm using Ecamm because I'd already purchased it and had it from back in the day. You're using Streamlabs.
Streamlabs OBS.
Yeah, so do you interact with chat and all that in Streamlabs, or are you doing the dual window type thing?
So let's take that. I'm going to answer that question in 2 parts. The first is the machine that I'm using, the machine that's sitting here in front of me, is not the machine that I'm talking to you on. It's not the machine that I stream with. I have my laptop that I use for my work and for everything else. That is where I do my work, but it doesn't know anything about streaming or audio or video or anything.
Okay.
I have an HDMI cable that comes out of my laptop and goes into a capture card inside a beefy PC that's sitting behind the monitor I'm looking at.
Yep.
And so that PC has my streaming software on it. It has Skype for when I do things like this. I have a completely separate wireless keyboard that sits over here that controls that PC. So it's a little mouse keyboard combo, right? I've got the little trackpad on there.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't have to have 100 wires and 2 keyboards and all that stuff set up. So all of that stuff lives on that separate PC. But that also means that I'm not using the streaming PC directly the whole time that I'm on stream. I'm using my laptop because I'm going to show something in a browser, or I'm going to show my code window, or whatever. And so, to answer your question, the only way for me to interact with the chat, to click on a link if somebody gives me one, or to post a link if somebody needs to follow up on some information, is to have a chat window open on my laptop. Because I don't want to have to jump between using my laptop and then grabbing the keyboard to type something into chat or whatever. So I actually have the chat in a browser, in a tab the whole time that I'm streaming, and then I just jump over to that when I need to post something. But I can see it on my streaming monitor that's here in front of me. So I know when people say stuff. It's only when I need to interact, which isn't that often. It's not very often that I'm typing into chat. I just need to be able to read it and respond. And so Streamlabs does a good job of presenting that to me. It's only in the few times that I need to send something to the group, like, oh, hey, here's a great URL to go follow up on that information or whatever, those are the times that I need to have access to the chat on my laptop. So that's a roundabout way of answering your question, I think.
Interesting. That is not how I would have anticipated you answering that question. And I'm going to take a picture of this because this is, for all purposes. Whoop.
Oh, we lost it.
What the? My only familiarity with this kind of stuff is with Ecamm. And in Ecamm, you can set up scenes, and then in those scenes, you can do things like share your desktop and whatnot.
Right.
Now, I'm. This will sound very first world, but I have a challenge of the fact that I have a 49-inch monitor, and that's not something you share to people, if you will, just because it's the aspect ratios. Right.
There you go.
Right, so you can see there's Skype going, Ecamm's in the middle, the thing's on the right.
Yep.
That's interesting that you had used two. I mean, did you land there just because the laptop wasn't enough? Like, why not just use a...
The laptop was most certainly not enough. But it was primarily that being able to offload all of this other stuff. I mean, dude, there's so much stuff I have to plug in. Right, I've got this really nice microphone that's sitting here in front of me.
Yep.
So that's one USB port. I've got the camera. That's got to run in through a USB port. I've got some lighting. I've got the Stream Deck. I've got like 5, 6, 7 things that are all plugged in and running all at the same time to make this happen. And it's just too much for my machine, let alone the actual process of streaming, right? Ramping up that processor and getting everything spinning and pushing all those bits out to the internet. So, I mean, it's not like a crazy laptop or desktop that I've got behind this monitor. It's probably, I think it was $800 2 years ago.
Sure.
So not outrageous, but enough to get the job done. And I've got a network hub back there. It's hardwired in, so I'm getting like, almost 1 GB up and down, or down. I'm probably getting like 100 up. But that makes a big difference, because then I can use my laptop to just do whatever it is I want to do. And it's still my laptop, right? So I have a setup just off screen over there where I have, 2 dual 29s, a laptop stand, all the other accessories plugged into a hub. And I sit down and I plug in one power cable and one hub cable, and I'm off and running.
Sure.
But it allows my laptop to just be the same thing I use everywhere, without having to bring it to a second setup. Because this is like, I'm at a standing desk. I'm in kind of like a weird corner of my office. This isn't a place that I want to do all my work all the time. Sometimes you need the comfy Aeron chair and you lean back and you just get some code written.
Yep. I mean, I have switched my setup around quite drastically from days of old, and I know I'm on a Mac Mini with an eGPU. This is a standing desk. You saw the monitor. My chair is right there.
Right.
So I've actually done the opposite. I've gone to workstation / iPad. Granted, I don't travel as much anymore at all. So the laptop's old, so it needs to get rebuilt and redone. But different issue. But I didn't want to overcomplicate things, because I actually spin this desk around. So part of what was important about what we're doing today is it forced me to reconfigure the desk and the camera so that I had this background, because I have a window here and a window there.
Right.
And because of the whole Corona thing, I can't get the lights that I want. So if I was to spin the desk around, the lighting would completely change. And it turns out actually I get ample lighting just from these windows.
It looks like you've got pro lighting, man.
Nothing.
Do you have any artificial lights, or is it just the window light?
I mean, the lights up in the ceiling, but
There's just ceiling light above you? It looks really good. I don't know that you need more lights.
It's
Except if you're streaming at night. Maybe that makes a difference.
I mean, never.
Right.
I mean, just for reference, right? I just lost that window and I went out, like it's lights out.
Yeah, you're completely dark now.
So I need to just make sure that I don't unplug things. because I've done that in the past.
Right. Oh, it's got little locking feet too. That's cool.
Just so when you lean on it, it doesn't go whoop.
Right. Smart.
So here we are, Twitch. I don't have anything set up. I don't have an audience. I don't even necessarily care that there's not an audience. I kind of like
It comes with time.
I kind of like to let's just go. It feels freeing, if you will, to some regards. What would you say would have been some of the biggest things you've learned over the past, how long have you been doing it, 2 years now?
No, 8 months. I started.
Oh, that's it?
I started last fall, yeah.
Oh, you started around the time of that conference? Because you were doing it there.
Okay, so there's two journeys here. The first journey is that I've been streaming on Twitch for Alexa. So I work on the Amazon Alexa team. In spotty ways over the last, let's call it a year. A year seems reasonable. Because I did do some streaming from that conference last year. But I started my own channel in October. And that's where, like, all the lessons learned came out. Because I was just doing whatever, like, it was just my job. Like, I've got to do office hours this week. And it was kind of rare and uncommon. But now I'm streaming 6 to 10 hours a week on my channel, plus another 6-ish hours on the Alexa channel every single week. A lot of that is because of the corona, right? Like, I can't go anywhere. So I spend a lot more time on streams, talking about stuff, doing all this stuff. But when it's on my channel, it's whatever I want it to be. And that makes a big difference. I'm still building Alexa stuff, and I'm still talking about Alexa, but I'm working on software I want to build the way I want to do it, projects that I really care about, where when I'm on the Alexa channel, I'm doing stuff that is very clearly for work, right? I'm interviewing people, doing office hours where developers can come and ask me questions. And they're things that I love to do, don't get me wrong, but they're like, if I stopped doing my job, I would probably stop doing those too.
Sure.
But I don't think that the things that I'm doing on my channel that I would stop. Like, I really enjoy this. And so the number one thing that I've learned more than anything else is that your schedule matters more than your content. And it hurts my head to even think about this, but it's proving to be true. Declaring on your page that you're going to be there Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to noon will get you an audience.
But you
have to do it.
Is this because people are habitual? Is this because there's an algorithm behind the scenes that, like,
I think
cares
it's a
more?
Thing. I think it's a habit thing. But I think more than anything, there's no TV guide, and even with the notifications that Twitch sends out when you go live, that's not often enough reminder or preparation time. People can remember that I'm on at 10 o'clock. And I'm sure there are days where it's Thursday and they're like, oh, it's Thursday, Jeff's not on. But they're never checking my schedule. They're never going to look and be like, oh, when's Jeff going to be on again? They have it locked in. Like, oh, I'm going to go see him on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And a lot of times they just kick the video open. I have some background music playing. I'm working through some code, and they throw it as a back tab, right? So they can hear it, but they're not necessarily actively watching. But
they could go back and watch these things anytime, though, right?
They could, but you don't get the live interaction, and I think that's what they really like.
Okay, that's fair.
Because, and think about it this way, you've probably encountered this. That conference has, 40 or 60 of the sessions that are recorded?
Yep.
Lots of people came to your event, a couple thousand, like over 1,000 easily.
Yep.
How many videos that were recorded and dumped up to Pluralsight, where you guys have them, how many have you watched?
Me, none.
Right. How many sessions did you wander into while you were there at the event?
Well, to be fair,
I know you're running the show.
I think I've only ever been to one.
Okay, so maybe that's not a completely fair question, but I find that it's more interesting for me to attend a live thing than it is to go back and watch it later. And that's one of the reasons that my event, Stir Trek, decided not to do a virtual event, because we felt like most people would just want to watch the recordings later. They weren't going to get the day off like they would if they had come to a conference.
Yeah.
And then no one would watch it. I mean, we have our last 5 years of all of our sessions are available on YouTube. Most of them have like 12 views. People aren't tuning in for that stuff, but they like the live.
I think more people have watched our content as a result of they weren't able to go.
Sure.
Than the people who went and just wanted to watch something else.
Yeah.
And of course, that's painting broad strokes, if you will, but okay. So schedule.
So that's the schedule is the biggest thing. Is you have to publish a schedule, and you have to commit and stay on it. You can't miss occasionally. Like if you say you're going to do 3 days a week for 2 hours, you need to do 3 days a week for 2 hours.
Do you find that people get mad?
No, but when it's not reliable, they just stop coming.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's like there are people that will post on Twitter like, hey, had something come up with the family, can't go live today. People totally understand that. But if you're consistently missing for just garbage reasons or not even announcing that you're not going to be there, that seems to be bad.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Like, I guess some of my fear, and again, not a reason not to do, but some of my fear is run two businesses, have to make money, things change, there's things that come up. While I want to set a schedule and do it, and we certainly have plans, there's a, who knows? Like,
yeah, and I don't even know that the schedule necessarily matters. Heck, I mean, I honestly believe that I could get more viewers if I did it evenings and weekends. Because even the guys that are tuning in say, like I can't watch the whole stream, like I got work to do, I'm at work, I'm doing all this other stuff. Yeah. I know that if I did a Saturday afternoon session, I'd probably do better. But now I'm committing myself to doing every Saturday afternoon, which with soccer and ice skating and Boy Scouts and everything else, like I can't do that. Those times are too volatile for me. My day, my work day, very, very consistent. Yeah. And so that's why it plugs into my work day.
Yeah. Okay. Schedule. What about inside the Twitch ecosystem? So you and I are doing this at the moment. You have a channel. Mm-hmm. I assume that this is not also being shown. There's no channel love at the moment.
There isn't, but there is ways to do that.
Okay.
And so I haven't added you as what they call a hosted stream, but basically in the settings of your Twitch channel, you can go in and say, these 12 people, if they're streaming and I'm not, show their stuff. And it'll broadcast on my channel with you. I will add you, but I'll broadcast your stuff on my channel. So if anybody just goes to my page, twitch.tv/Jeff Blankenberg, they will find your video playing right now because you're one of my people that I host.
But is there a way for you to say, tag your own channel and say, I've just spent 2 hours over here doing this, and it be a pinned thing in your own feed?
I don't understand what ask that question again. I'm not sure I understood you.
So you and I are recording right now, and this is for all purposes recorded on this channel, right? But you have your own channel. It'd be nice if you could pin this or tag it so that it's in your feed of videos that you did, because you've done 50% of it in some regards. Sure.
I don't actually know how that works. That would be pretty interesting, because I think all the videos that are on my channel are videos that were broadcast on my channel. I know that I can make clips. Clips are only 60 seconds, but that would allow me, we had something funny happen or whatever. I can say, let's record the last 60 seconds and create a clip of that. And that would live on your channel even though I created it. So in the little clips above your video panel, there's a place you can see those. I don't know if there's an easy way for me to take this video or you to take this video and say, put this on Jeff's page too. I don't know if that actually exists. But again, I think Twitch is so much more focused on the what's happening right now, and it's far, far less about the archive. And I think what you'll also find is that the video that we're making right now, if you don't do something with it, I think it disappears in 7 or 10 days. It's just gone.
What does do something mean?
You can choose to export it to YouTube. You can choose to download it and then edit it or do whatever you need to do and re-upload it. things that, like recorded videos that you upload into Twitch will persist. But every recording that you make, if you don't take action with it, it will just expire after an amount of time. And I think because you're just starting out, I think it's only 7 days. For me, I've achieved some level stuff. We can talk about that too. But I'm what they call an affiliate, which is the second highest level you can be. And affiliates, I think my videos live for 2 weeks before they go away. But there's a really nice button in the video editor interface where I can link my YouTube account, and then I literally just hit an export button, and I give it a title, and I say whether I want it to be public or private, and it literally exports it directly to my YouTube channel. And then it's going to stay there forever, right? So that's generally how I handle this, is about once a week I'll just go in and export all the videos I made this week and pump them over to my YouTube.
That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, so they definitely do expire.
So I'm going to come back to the levels thing and go back to audience for a second. So we're software developers. Right. It's just the wrong place in the, where my 14-year-old son is watching Fortnite videos and Rocket League and all that.
I think the infrastructure is perfect for it, but Twitch is definitely oriented to gamers, without question. There's always the joke you hear in college where like you're dating somebody and somebody's like, so is she Mrs. Right? And you're like, she's Mrs. Right now, right? Like, right? Like she's a very good girlfriend, whatever, but like this is probably not going to last, but we're having fun. And I think that's kind of how I feel about Twitch, is like, it's either going to evolve to be the thing that I absolutely love and that supports the kinds of work that I'm doing, or a new one's going to come up. I don't think that there is a good place right now for developers to find personalities with live interaction doing live coding on a variety of subjects better than Twitch is doing today. And
so could just be early to market, even though Twitch has been around for, I don't know, what's 5, 6 years, 7 years?
If you had told me even 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So people, like, seriously, there's going to be people that will just, like, watch you code live for hours on end. I would have laughed in your face.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't believe for a moment that people would tune in and just, like, watch me make mistakes and Google issues and, like, go through the normal process of writing an application. But they do, and it's... dude, I'm to the point now where if I'm going to write code, why don't I write it in public?
Yeah.
Like, that's the place that I am now. And it's not that I'm good at this. I'm more knowledgeable than most about Alexa stuff, but I'm not a fantastic Node developer. I'm not an amazing JavaScript guy. I'm not a graphic designer. Like, there's lots of things that I'm just okay at. But there's something about my personality that some people will like. There's stuff about your personality that people are like, no, like Jeff and Clark are both cool, but I really enjoy watching Clark. Like, there's something about him that
everybody will say that.
I know they'll say that, but you will definitely have that experience. Or there's just people that know you for some reason, and they want to tune in to see what you're working on or how you approach a problem or whatever. But the people that watch my stream, the thing they enjoy the most is when I struggle, and it's not because it's funny, like haha he sucks.
Sure.
It's because they want to see how I solve the problem.
Because
they'll be able to take that lesson back to their work and be like, well, I saw how Jeff did this. That was an interesting way to think about this problem. Or maybe I should try that, right? Or why did he do it that way, right? And they'll voice their feedback in the chat too, like, hey, did you think about just doing this? And I'll be like, oh my god, right? Like, yeah, of course. But it's like pair programming with 50 people, which is great.
Yeah. I'm the same. I wouldn't have necessarily tuned in, but I do find that the folks that I am learning from today, and I think a bit of it is mindset, maybe it's ageism, just being in the industry longer, like I value my time a hell of a lot more. So am I right spending $100 to give Wes Boss money to create a course so that I can learn some of his, kind of what he's gone through? Because I don't want to read a book. Like, I don't have time for the book. And but I make time to study every day, and there's times where I want like the concise thing, and there's times where like I need to see the journey because I'm about the why. And when
right.
when I understand the why, then I can do a lot of things. But not understanding the why, and
you and I are very similar in that regard. There's so many situations in life where people give you the answer.
Right.
I don't care about the answer.
Right.
I want to know why that's the answer. Tell me why I should do it that way. What am I solving? What am I helping? And they're packing all of that up into just like, we'll just do this. But if I don't understand why, I'm not going to remember how to do it later.
Yeah.
Or be able to evaluate decisions I make later about that decision.
What you just said, I always think of, for anybody who's ever done any bit of like web node development, and you get Babel and ESLint and Prettier and like all of those tools together, they work wonderfully, but most people don't even understand what the hell they're for, which is like, it's a pretty big piece of the like pipeline.
Yes. But the challenge is there are people that are getting by without it.
Right.
And so
if
I could do it without it, tell me why I should use it. Why should I It was the same argument with testing, right? Like why my software, I'm building software today without ever having written a test in my whole life. Tell me why I need to spend 30% of my time writing tests now. Right.
I've seen that come back up.
Yeah, but it's not until you can flip that bit for them and say like, oh my gosh, I actually had no idea that my software could even work. Right? Like how many times have you encountered some old code you've written and the question you ask yourself is, how did this ever work? Right. How does this even work? I don't even know how this is possible.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of mentality where until you can convince them the why, like this is why you should be doing that. It doesn't matter. You can show them all day how to write a code kata or build out a series of unit tests or whatever. Yeah.
So here we are in Twitch, get interactive. I plan on streaming like me building this GraphQL course and talking about it.
Yeah.
And so how do you go back and share things? Like, are you just pointing people to your GitHub repo? Like, I think of like show notes from a podcast or something like that, but
yeah,
are there good I'm thinking, I got my developer hat on and I'm thinking about all the things that we do kind of like in Slack and pass things around and this and that. And somebody joins in and says, hey, like I took your thing, I need this. Are you like limited to chat, or have you built infrastructure around supporting you being live and saying, look, I've got this in, my GitHub's set up a certain way and this and that and the other?
I don't know that I've even come close to mastering that yet. But I actually got this question from a person on my team at Amazon also. And the question is, like, if you're going to spend the next 4 weeks streaming content all about the same project, which it sounds like that's kind of your goal.
Oh, yeah.
And someone shows up in week 2 or in, like, hour 17 of the process, and they say, what is this thing? Do you stop your whole stream and, like, ramp them up from the beginning? I don't do that. But the feedback that I gave to him is, you have to decide why you're streaming. Are you streaming for your audience, or are you streaming for you? And neither of them are the wrong answer. You just have to know what your purpose is. For you, building a course, the streaming might be for you. And if people want to tune in, great. But you're not necessarily doing it for them. You're doing it so that you can build a course. And so you may not care about, like, making sure that I leave breadcrumbs for everybody and letting them catch up and whatever. They're not going to go build all this stuff. They're there for the adventure. They're there to see the mistakes. They're there to see the nuggets of knowledge that you can drop on them as they go. But they're there to just see what you do your thing. Versus what I do for like an office hour stream, that is entirely for the audience. I'm there sharing knowledge I already have, right? I'm not. I gain a lot talking to them because they ask questions that bend my head and make me think about, well, what if I was approaching a skill that way? How would I do this? How would I solve that problem? But at the end of the day, that's a for the audience stream. And in that case, I should always give the backstory. I should always give them a way to do this. And this is something that I'm working on right now. With these office hours that I do, it's 1 hour a week. It's every Tuesday at noon. And all I do is show up for an hour, and if people ask questions in the chat, I'll answer them. That's it. That's the whole format of the show. But I write all the questions down, just in a text file. And I've been doing that since July. And what I've realized is that I get a lot of repeat questions. People come back, 6 months later, it's a new person, and they're like, hey, how do I do this thing in Alexa? Oh, we've covered that before. Here's how you do it. And I show them and I give them a link or whatever. Mm. But they're coming to an office hours and they're asking that question because they couldn't find it.
Right.
Yeah. I was not their first stop, right? They went Google search, they did this, they did that. They probably reached out to some friends, and they weren't able to find this answer anywhere. So one of the things that I'm doing in all my free time is going through that list of questions, which is now, it's got to be 200 plus different things that people have asked me over 1 hour a week for, 8 months.
Sure.
I'm going to create 60-second videos that answer every single one of those questions and toss them into the Twitch channel as clips. So you'll be able to search for them there. They're also going to make their way to YouTube. They're also going to make it to the developer portal for Alexa developers. But these little 60-second videos, you'll be able to search them and find the ones that you want, the best match questions that have been asked before. And if you still don't have a match, great, come to office hours and I'll ask that new novel question or answer that one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of trying to pare down content like that into smaller, call it bite-sized chunks.
Digestible.
How about, manageable at different times. We're all busy. I don't have an hour necessarily when I'm trying to find like pointers to things to even know, is the direction right or whatever. How can I invest more time in this thing, right?
Yeah.
But that's an interesting way to think of it, kind of point in time versus reality TV, if you will.
And the natural inclination of every streamer is to say, well, I've covered all this content in an hour or 2 hours or whatever. I'll just chop those chunks out and publish them. It's never the same because you're never going to fit it into that 60-second window. You're going to have to edit things down and crunch things together, do whatever. You talked about something 30 minutes ago, and now it's come full circle in another discussion. So it's a 60-second video. How many possible takes could it take me to get that right? 4 or 5 maybe? So I spent 5 minutes making that video. Okay, I can live with that.
Sure. Do you find yourself overlapping audience with like your circles from Star Trek or kind of your physical circles versus your Twitch circles?
Yeah, there are definitely people in my audience that are friends that know me personally. But there's a lot that aren't. I would bet the majority are not. Because I think a lot of people, especially developers, they're not on Twitch. Like if I say, "Hey, are you on Twitch?" They're like, "I don't even play video games, man." Like that's the natural response. They don't realize that wait, it's just a video streaming platform, and I could be going and interacting with other developers and doing all this other stuff. But it's growing, and this is one of the things that I'm going to want to try to get you into. Have you heard of the live coders?
No. Look, man, I'm new. This is it.
I know. No, perfect. I didn't. But you know C# Fritz. You know Jeff Fritz.
Yep, I know Jeff. Well, he didn't know me, but I know him.
Right. But we all worked together at Microsoft all those years ago. And so Jeff, a couple of years ago, got the idea that, hey, I should do a bunch of Microsoft development on stream on Twitch. He was one of the first. He was one of the first people that really got out there and did it really well. His stuff's engaging. His stream is so much cooler than mine, just because he's had the time to experiment and grow and expand. And so I'm using him as a model. He's definitely someone I'm aspiring to be like. His channel makes over 6 figures a year. And it's doing that through people subscribing, so they can pay money to get access to other things. There's also this concept in Twitch called bits, which you can buy, I think, in $5 or greater increments, and then you can spend them a penny at a time. So I could come to your channel. In fact, I'll do that right now. Can I do that right now? No, you don't have it turned on yet because you have to get to affiliate, I think, before you can take that stuff. But I could give you 1 bit, which is literally worth a penny. And that becomes a penny of your money that you can do whatever you want with it. But in the chat, in the interaction, you can do all sorts of things. So if I were to spend, 100 bits, which is $1, you could do something real in life. So like you'll get a little notification in the chat that says, hey, Jeff just spent 100 bits on hydrating you. Take a sip of water, right? And so like it's an audience interacting thing. I'll spend $1 to make Clark drink water on stream.
Sure.
That's like real life stuff, but it could also be, there's all sorts of virtual rewards inside Twitch. So there are special emoticons that I created. There's one of me, like my face. You can only use that if you're a subscriber. And so I have a couple of people that have subscribed, not only to like support the thing, and I actually donate the money like Jeff Fritz does, but by doing that kind of stuff, you get people more engaged. They feel like that now they're taking an ownership, and the people in chat talk about like we're doing this thing, we're working on this thing. It becomes this collective community, which I know you and I are all about. Yep. But the story that I was telling about Jeff and the live coders is that Twitch has teams. You've heard about like esports teams, right? Yep. Where people are really good at Fortnite or whatever game it is. And the same applies for what we're doing. And so he created a team called the Live Coders. And I think it started with about 15 different people that were doing what he was doing, right? You have to be streaming a certain number of weeks. You have to have affiliate status, which we can talk about those levels in a little while. But you have to like hit a couple of these markers, and then you just go to their GitHub repo and you do a pull request on their application form, and they ingest that, and that's how you apply to be part of the Live Coders. So I got into that, and all of a sudden now I got invited to this Discord community, which is again a very gaming centric tool. But I'm in this Discord with what is now about 100 people that live stream their software development. And they're all supportive, and they all reach out to each other, and we all host each other. And it's this super, super cool community that I would have never expected to be a part of. I was just experimenting. I thought, let's see what this is. Let's see if it's fun. And now, like, there's going to be a virtual conference called the Live Coders Conference. And it's all streams from all of us, but it'll all be run through one specific channel. We get esports gaming jerseys. They're making us custom, like, esports jerseys with our name and our number on the back. Like, it's super cool. And this kind of thing makes me think that there's a big opportunity behind where this is going. I mean, the fact that one guy could make that big amount of money. Every quarter, he has on his Twitch page a specific tech-related charity. And so this quarter, all the money you donate to this channel, whether that's through subscriptions or bits or whatever, all of that money is going to like Girls Who Code or whatever the charity happens to be. For me, we actually started a charity because of Stir Trek, just called the Stir Scholarship, and it's for women going into college in technical fields. And so that's the place that money that is spent on my channel goes.
So you mentioned a couple things in there that I want to ask about.
Yeah.
In the virtualness of the bringing the channels together, how's that happening?
I'm not sure how he is like aggregating all of those. My guess is that he will stream it from the Live Coders channel, and then either choose to specifically host somebody at the right time. Because
kind of like rebroadcast. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll just be a host. So I'll broadcast on my channel, but it'll come through that other funnel. Either that, or we'll do it as a Skype call or something else where I'm not broadcasting on my channel, but instead I am communicating directly with his PC, and then he's broadcasting it out. I don't know exactly how that's going to work yet, but that is coming. It's in June, I think, the next event.
Yeah, I was curious when you said that. I know Restream is a big deal. I've never really looked into it, but interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go add you as someone I would host.
So you keep speaking of these levels.
Yeah.
I am 0 as 0 could be.
Right.
What does that look like?
So,
and to be clear, I'm so 0. The only thing I've really done outside of create this account and upload our company logo is, well, that's it. That's all I've done. So I haven't even been through like the preferences of things. I legitimately have not looked at it because I wanted this conversation to be kind of as authentic as possible, because a lot of times we'll go figure something out and then talk about it, and I'd rather just go,
that's not nearly as fun.
Legitimately don't know.
I like unrehearsed discovery. Like, I think this stuff, it makes a big difference in how the conversation is perceived too. This looks authentic versus now tell me about this thing, Clark. We already know the answer. Okay, so as far as the levels go, and I want to make sure that I get this right, I am what we call an affiliate. And I believe there's only 3 levels. So there's streamer. I don't know what the bottom level is called. I don't even know if it has a name. But that is where you come in and you get to stream like you're doing right now.
How do you even see this?
Let's see if we can find a page for that. Twitch.
Like I'm looking at my profile and
where can I see that on mine? There's a place, Insights, yeah. So I want you to go to your channel, and you click on your face up in the top right, or your logo or whatever, that little circle in the very top right. And in there, you're going to hit Creator Dashboard. Is that one of your options?
Yep.
Okay, click on that, and you end up with a black screen.
Yeah.
So it looks like a stream manager. I think that's where it starts you.
Yep.
So you can see like your video in the middle or whatever. So hit the hamburger button in the top left and go to Insights.
See any of that.
And
I
then
would have
choose
never seen
achievements.
that.
No. They're in the process of reworking all their nav, and it's not discoverable even slightly. But so under Insights, choose achievements. And it should show you at the very, very top, like path to affiliate. You have 3 requirements. That's it.
Oh, path. I see. Yeah. I gotcha.
So those are the 3 requirements that you need to achieve in the same 30-day window. So it's not like, I got 1, now I'll do the other 2. Like, you have to do all 3 in the same 30-day window. And the numbers they're showing you are a rolling clock. So after 30 days, whatever we do right now will fall off that clock.
Boy, they're pretty good about the gamifying you to stay active, huh?
They are. Look at all the other achievements if you scroll down. There's tons of stuff.
Holy cow.
And then there's levels to those, right? You're like, I did that achievement at level 1, now I'm doing that achievement at level 2, and they just keep pushing the envelope on those things. But, so what are your 3 requirements for getting to affiliate? Because I can't see that anymore.
Reach 50 followers, stream for 8 hours, stream on 7 different days, and an average of 3 viewers. I'm guessing that's per stream.
Well, it's across the entirety of your streams for those 30 days. So if you have one stream with 50 viewers and a bunch of other streams that have 1, it just averages it across all of them.
What counts as a view? Is it a certain number of minutes? Is it?
Yeah. So if I have 10 if I do it for an hour, and I have 10 for the first half hour, and I have 5 for the second half hour, I average 7.5 viewers. Because I would average the 10 and the 5, and that's 7.5. So that's how they do that, though. But it is actually the amount of time watched. You can't just have 3 different people show up occasionally. Like, you need to average 3 viewers for the whole time.
Oh, I got you.
So I have to have 3 people watching on average for the whole hour. So if I have 6 for the first half hour and none for the second half hour, that's still 3.
That's here. I'm gonna see. I'm living dangerously. I probably shouldn't be doing this. Can you see my screen?
Well, I'm on Skype. Let me jump over to your stream. It should flip over in a second here. I can, but I can only see the UNSP of unspecified software.
Yeah, I was. Well, I had the entire screen, but nobody could see that.
Now I see the whole logo, but I don't see any software or anything. I just see your logo.
I don't either. What I was trying to do is show. This is the browser, or do I have to put it in? I was trying to show show everybody the
the interface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly failing there. So
well, with a monitor that big, that's probably really tough.
Although, hey, nothing crashed. So
right. Yeah, we're both still on screen too. That's good. These are all little wins. So let me give you some background. So you've seen those 3 requirements.
Yeah.
I have 3 requirements to get to partner, and I am destroying 2 of them regularly. Like on my 30-day average, I have to stream for 25 hours, and I'm at 28 right now. So no problem there hitting the 25 hours.
Oh, 28 for this month then?
For this 30-day window, yeah.
Oh, what constitutes a 30-day window? Whenever you started or
no, 30 days since today. Like just rewind 30 days from right this second. And so it's always a rolling window, right?
I gotcha.
So I'm at 28 hours there on the 25-hour goal. Stream on 12 different days. Well, I generally stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday every week. So that should be, if on a 4-week month, that's still 12. But I'm at 14 in the last 30 days. So I'm streaming 14 days out of the goal of 12. The one that I'm struggling on is I have to average 75 viewers. My average right now is 9.
Yeah.
That's the hurdle that's really, really hard to get over, is having 75 people on average tuned in. Partner is money.
Okay, what does that mean? I mean, is money meaning...
I don't know specifically. But you have to go through an application process. There's a bunch of other hurdles you got to go through. But you get much larger percentages of things like subscriptions and other income revenue items. But when people get partner, it's a big deal. So I'm assuming maybe there's some other amount of money that you get or ad revenue. Who knows?
I mean, I guess in some regards they got to compete with YouTube and others who are sending them AdSense and that stuff.
Yeah, and I do get ad revenue now, but it's not much. In fact, let me see what that is. If I go to my stuff,
do the ads only really come up when you're at the beginning of a stream? I mean, I guess it would only be on a rewatch, right? It's not like somebody's going to get bumped right now to watch an ad.
You can do that. You have the power to run an ad right now. Well, you probably don't. But once you're affiliate, you can push an ad at any time. You can say, "Hey, I'm going to run to the restroom real quick." You hit a button, it runs an ad, and then you come back and you can definitely run ads.
And you're doing that through Streamlabs? I mean, if you were to do that, you did it through Streamlabs, or you're doing it through the interface?
It's through Twitch, yeah. So if you go back to that, you were on the thing. If you go to that Stream Manager page, that was the first page you came into when you're on all these black screens.
Yep.
There is a button, which I have that you probably don't have, which is run a 60-second ad break. And so I think this is the interface they expect you to have in front of you as you're streaming, because it gives me a bunch of other options too.
Oh, I didn't even.
Editing your stream info and managing a bunch of other stuff. I can create.
So is this what you watch when you're running your stream?
I don't often go to this screen, although this is probably the one I should go to. The place that I go is if you probably can see this on your channel, but if you look below the chat box on your actual Twitch page, there's a little gear icon, but there's probably also a little sword.
Mm-hmm.
Click the sword. This is the view I usually use. This is more of a moderator's view, so if you had people that were helping you...
Well, this is way better than what I was looking at.
Right. Yeah, but you can only do that for your own stream. But you can see that the chat's right there. Like I can say, hey, somebody said a word I don't like. They'll actually pre-filter bad words and things, and they'll pop them up in those little boxes, and I can say, I don't care if somebody said crap, that's fine. And I can approve those terms and let that stuff fly in the future. But this is more of a moderator view. So it would be like if you're streaming and I'm in the chat helping, I would use the moderator view. You can add me as a mod to your channel, and then I would have access to that view, and then I can go in and like manage chat and keep people under control and boot people if I have to, if they're being obnoxious, which doesn't happen. The people on developer channels are remarkably respectful and well behaved, but if you go to like video gamer channels, oh my god, it's amazing.
So interesting. It says my average stream bitrate is too high. Words I never thought I'd see.
Right. I mean, your video's fantastic.
It doesn't like it.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be chugging at all. Like, the stream that I'm watching is nice and buttery smooth, so...
God, I hope so. I mean, I got one kick-ass graphics card.
Right. Well, we both are rocking pretty solid cameras. That makes a big difference, too.
Again, watched just a few videos on how to get this Sony set up to try to understand what was in it, and I am not convinced at all that I have it set up right.
Well, it looks right. Do you have it running directly into your PC over HDMI?
Capture card.
Okay.
It's going into the Elgato, that little...
The Cam Link?
Yep, Cam Link.
Yeah, that's a fantastic device.
I heard it great. You want to hear it?
TradeLast, there's a guy named TradeLast who is on my channel. He's on the Alexa channel a lot, and he's watching this right now. You know what? I mentioned during my office hours today that I was coming over here. So I was like, man, what is that name doing over here? That's awesome. Thanks for coming, TradeLast. I forgot that I promoted. Yeah, I told people to come on over and check you out. So, TradeLast, give him a follow if you haven't already. He doesn't have any of those cool functions set up, but we'll get him there.
Yeah, I got nothing. I don't even know how to give somebody a high five.
This is one of those things that I think Ecamm will... I'm assuming they can do this stuff. But on my channel, using the Streamlabs software, if I'm broadcasting and somebody follows me, I have chosen an animated GIF, and it displays the animated GIF, it plays an audio file that I've selected, and it shows the person's name and says, just followed or whatever, but it puts it live in the stream for me. So, like, as I'm going, something will just appear on the screen like, hey, TradeLast just followed you, and I'll be like, oh, sweet, and I can, like, thank them for that, where normally you don't have any idea someone just followed you.
It's, yeah, totally. I'm actually kind of surprised how in-depth the chat is, which is I like, because shit, I text all the time and whatnot. Right. So like I'm totally down for it. I'm just a little I'm surprised.
There's so much you can do with the chat too, between the bits and the emojis and all the other stuff that you can do with it. And then on top of that, I'll help you out. I'll give you the code. It's pretty easy. But setting up a chatbot, like it has made a big difference in how people interact. People will just try things. They'll just say things because they know the chatbot's sitting there listening. And I'll add commands from time to time, and so they'll try. The default one that you get is !dice, and it'll just roll a 20-sided die for them. But if you wanted people to compete for a prize or something, everybody just drops !dice in the chat, and boom, now you've got a contest. Right?
That's
so there's lots of like fun things you can do like that.
You got me thinking about something else when we were chatting. Shit. So really, I mean, it's interesting because we're going to, I'm going to do this for TC too. And we're just, it's going to be interesting to see how the two kind of kick off. Because that's, I know what I was thinking. I was thinking of the Streamlabs. Yeah. I could see, you had mentioned sorry, I'm a little all over the place.
No, it's good.
You mentioned last week about having different setups for the different channels, of which clearly going to fall into, I mean, we had a few issues just kind of getting started on this. And while Ecamm has been great, and it's the only thing I know, there's you your point about kind of tuning it, if you will,
Yeah.
I'm clearly going to have to figure that out, because as it sits right now, I mean, I figured out why I couldn't share my desktop. I didn't have accessibility on, but you know, to be live coding, same screen, different layouts, I'm going to have to figure that out.
There's a lot of finesse that comes with it, for sure.
Yeah.
Another thing to think about as you do all this is that I know you said you bought Ecamm. Is that software that you purchase?
I did years ago, because I was trying to do when we were doing the podcast for that conference. The only way I could get me and a person on a Mac, so what we're doing right now, I wanted to be able to record so that we could edit it and throw it up to whatever. And so we were live streaming to Facebook, but really what I wanted to do is be able to record it and send it, and then we could edit and put it on YouTube.
Nice.
And so that's how I got on Ecamm, because it was the only thing at the time. There was only like OBS, and that looked, I don't want to say it was just geared more towards Windows, and I had a Mac. So, and Ecamm was the one that made the interface at the time. So I don't know how long NDI's been around. I don't know if that's a forever Skype thing or that's a recent. But Ecamm had a add-in for Skype so that you could bounce it out and record it or do whatever. So.
Okay. Gotcha. So I will tell you, like, the regular OBS and Streamlabs OBS are both totally free. And I have just been blown away by the features that are inside Streamlabs OBS. It's so good. And you get so much for free that I don't know why I would need anything else. So like, if you're comfortable with Ecamm and it does everything you want it to do, then do it. Like, use that. But like those little overlays for when I get followers, like I don't know, if Ecamm doesn't have that kind of stuff built right into Twitch, then you'd have to write your own thing to recognize when someone follows you, catch the API call, do a thing on your, like, it's a lot of work. This one, it's a little overlay I put in my video stream.
I see. Your Streamlabs is doing it. I got you. Maybe that's kind of what I was missing. You have all that stuff rocking in your window.
It's in my stream. Like, in the software you're using to compose, like, where our videos are and how our audio files and all that work.
Right.
I have a bunch of other layers sitting on top that are those things.
Right. So when I pulled down that Streamlabs, I saw the boxes that you could kind of set up things and do whatever. I wasn't thinking of, like, that square is your stream. Yeah. And this is where you've chose to put the different pieces. I was taking it as, like, I'm trying to capture this piece from my desktop and this piece from my desktop, and then I'll make a square. Because Ecamm is kind of the, you create a scene, in the scene you have the thing. So like, this is our split, and then there's one where it's kind of what the hell is this? It's Taco Tuesday. I need a drink.
I got a bottle of margarita. Wait for me.
What would this be called? Like picture in picture. Yeah, I'll get there one day.
So are these predefined scenes, or did you have to make these?
You do both, and I've got them all on. Where did the split go? Oh, now I messed up the split. They're all, because you gotta love Elgato. They've come out of flipping nowhere. So they're all, Ecamm's got them all set up there. Yeah, but look in there.
I know. That's awesome.
See each one of the scenes from Ecamm.
So it's actually showing the video there live on the button?
It is streaming the video to the button. You can see there's 6 people on at the moment.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's an impressive, and this is, I've had this now for,
yeah,
I don't know, 3 years, so like.
I don't know that I can do that with what I'm running, like actually see the video on the button. But what I do is I just make a custom little icon for each button so that I know what the thing is, and that's fine. Because I would have to almost squint to be like, what is that?
I thought
but
that.
It is cool.
I thought that until today, and it's changed enough that the one that you're on is in green, and obviously you lay out which ones are which. But I've been trying to play video producer while we're doing this, and it actually
tapping
I've hit the buttons.
It's pretty awesome. It almost makes, so I have the exact same Stream Deck. I actually have 2 of those sitting here, but it makes me yearn for having one of the big dogs, which they're like $299 or something, but it has 60 buttons on it or something.
Have you looked at the Blackmagic mini something?
Clark, I'm Elgato for life. I'm brand loyal now. No, I haven't looked at that. But I'm way over budget on streaming gear too.
I
have 2 of their key lights staring me down right now. Here's lights off.
It's actually not that bad. Is it just the lights behind you that are lighting up?
Yeah, it's just that lamp that people can change. And then this is on. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, hence my flipped around desk.
But I don't wear glasses. You could potentially, like if you're looking towards those lights, you may end up with big reflections on your glasses. And you wear a hat a lot, so that could cause an unnatural shadow like on your face.
Yeah, I do. What's called the COVID cut. So my
I'm about ready to get one.
My intent is we're going to be somewhere around here, and we're gonna clean up all this goo, and I'm gonna just get a light back there so that I can get a better depth.
Sure.
Because I got a nice camera now, so might as well use it.
Right.
All right. What else? What else am I missing? So I got to do a lot of tuning. I should make a list. I really need to lean into the chat. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to look at Streamlabs. I think I'm going to reevaluate my setup.
Cool. Well, Streamlabs, you actually log in with your Twitch account. So it has the chat right there in the interface. It has all of the stuff is easily configured to play with your Twitch stream.
This does too, but for whatever reason, it's not. Man, that autofocus. This Sony camera is unreal.
Yeah. The secret is making sure that you cover your face. Like if I hold this up here, it will not focus on this sticker. But if I cover my face, boom. Because it's recognizing that there's no faces anymore. It prioritizes faces.
I wonder here. I'm curious how.
See, it's
oh yeah, the whole back came in.
Yep, it takes the focus to your face.
That's
so cool.
Wicked.
Right. But it's one of those things that I didn't realize at first, because I would hold things up and I'd be like here's a Lego thing, right? I'd be like, yeah, check this thing out, right? And I'd hold it here, and it's not in focus, and then all I have to do is this, bam. Like all I have to do is cover my face with it. So you just have to be conscious of like hiding your face when you want stuff to focus.
All right, so I got to lean in the chat. I got to think about this setup. What else? I mean, I got to. I mean, obviously, I got to do the work.
You need branding on your screen.
Yep.
Even if it's just a little logo in the corner or something,
ready?
You need to brand all your video.
There's the TC brand.
Oh, nice. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But, like, also keep in mind if your scene like that is lost in the chair.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I branded myself as Blankenberg Builds so that I can literally build whatever I feel like building, and it's still on brand. But I just have a little lower third, right? It's probably 3/4 of an inch tall maybe, but it takes over the entire bottom. There are widgets in Streamlabs that let me show how many people are watching, so I've added that to that little bar so that you can live see the audience right in the stream, how many people are there. There's lots of little like gadgets and gizmos you can play with in Streamlabs to make it cooler.
Let's flip it the other way though. What things do you think what are the things that the audience finds the most useful? Like, where are they getting the most value out of? Because branding, cool, like, that's cool.
Well, we've got Tradelast here. I'm going to ask him that question too. Like, when I stream on my own channel, what are the things that you find the most useful? I'll pose that question to you, and then I'm going to give my guess before he answers. So, I think that engagement, like having the access to the speaker, is probably number one. They have my attention. I'm very good about chat. I'm one of those people, and I think that most people should be, that when somebody joins the chat that I haven't seen their name before, especially their name today, they'll come in and they'll be like, good morning or hello or whatever. I call every single person out by name. Like, hey, Tradelast, it's good to see you. Hey, like, whoever the person happens to be. Like, make it as if you're having a meeting and everybody just showed up on the virtual meeting, right? And you're like, sure. Hey, Steve, hi, Bob, how's it going, right?
Sure.
I think it's really, really important to be able to call those people out without ruining it. Like, it makes them feel noticed and special.
Sure.
If people
I'm not doing this to hear myself. Like, I'm doing this to share, so.
Right. But again, if you're building a course, though, it could just be you talking to you. Like, okay, I've got to do this. I got to do this thing. And if you see somebody say something, it would be very, very easy to like just comment on it, but it's not the driving force. But I like the community aspects of this. So Tradelast is answering here. Pay attention to chat directed to you versus chat conversations that happen among the participants. Sometimes things get lost in the stream that way. You can definitely at people. So if you just start typing at and then Tradelast, you'll see his name will even pop up on the chat because it knows who's here.
So if only 2 people are coming in, then that's the 2 active? Like, I mean, you're in there, but I'm not seeing you pop up.
But if you hit at and then Jeff?
I'm not getting it. I see Tradelast and me.
Interesting. How about now?
Yep.
So it could just be people that have chatted recently. There must be something that's running there. So Tradelast, do you feel like I do that? You said promote a sense of collaboration in what you're doing. Do you feel like that's something that I do well? Or is that something that you wish I was better at? That's also a good question.
Shit, we can always be better.
Yeah.
I mean...
But am I even on the radar? Like, am I making it collaborative? Because I feel like I am. Like, people will offer suggestions. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I feel like in a lot of the coding, I'll ask people, like, how would you approach this problem? Or I'm doing it for this reason. And people will say, well, have you considered this, right? And I'll be like, oh. Yeah, no, it's very collaborative, Tradelast. That's what I'm about. Just a little background, because Tradelast, you and I don't know each other too well personally. But Clark and I are both very, very big. We came from the developer community, right? We run software development conferences. We do lots and lots of things to get people together to think and share and grow. And that's a lot of why I do my streaming. It's not just me entertaining an audience. I hope that I'm entertaining, but it's really more about getting you all together and getting to know each other and creating a community. It's like that silly wall that I started doing this week, which I haven't talked to you about yet, Clark, but open up a tab and go to my Twitch page. I'll show you some other stuff you need to be doing.
I'd go to your site to get there, or your live address, but you don't have those. Can I introduce you to DNS, baby?
Sure.
I bought all kinds of domains this week. I'm sure my wife's gonna. Right.
I'm sure she'll be fine with it. Okay, so you have my video, or like the box where the video would be. Maybe I'm hosting somebody right now.
You're hosting somebody, yep.
Okay, so scroll below the video, and you'll see a bunch of panels.
Yep.
So those are things that I've put there. They're not meant to look nice. It's really hard actually to make them look uniform and nice. But there's a bunch of information that's useful there. One is my schedule. So you can see it says Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's a countdown timer showing you when my next stream will be. I have links to important things that you may want to know about me if you need to find that stuff, like where am I on social or things like that.
Yep.
But the one that's interesting, the thing that I've been playing with this week, is the happy little shelf. It's a picture of basically my backdrop. It was near the top, probably.
Oh, yeah.
So there's something else people can earn once you get to affiliate, which is called channel points. And they earn these points for free. There's no cost to anybody to do this. But they earn points automatically just for watching. And so if they're actively watching, they can click a button about every 10 minutes and they'll get bonus points or whatever. But they can get about 200 points an hour, I think is how many they can earn. And I made a thing that because like Trade Last and a few other people, they show up quite often, which is awesome because it's good to have a consistent group of people to talk with regularly. But I set up a thing where if you spent 4,000 of your points, you could get your picture inserted into that image. And so if you click on it, it's just an image I have hosted on an S3 bucket, but we're replacing the faces on all those figures with people that watch the stream. But you have to spend 4,000 of your points, which means you had to watch, like 10 hours, 20 hours of time. But it's been kind of fun because now they have their name and their image like inserted into this collage of stuff right on the channel, right? It makes it feel like they're all a part of it.
Is there anybody that's in there yet?
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7. But you kind of have to look closely.
Oh, I see.
But the faces have been replaced, and then I put their name, like their handle for Twitch, underneath.
Oh, I see. Okay. Do they get to pick who?
Yeah. So that's part of the process. They send me the image, and I cut their head out live on air in Photoshop, and then they tell me who they want to be, and I do all that editing live. So it's part of the episode or whatever. But it's really kind of cool.
You clearly have taken these little bobbleheads to a new level.
You don't actually want to know, man. I tell people this all the time, but what you see on stream and what you're seeing in that picture is it's maybe 25%.
What?
Right? Like that wall behind you, that gorgeous gray wall that you have, that I got to watch the entire construction of on your Instagram and Facebook and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That entire wall wouldn't hold what I have in this office.
You still haven't seen the place, have you?
Not in person, but I saw a bunch of the like getting close to finished pictures that you posted.
We're gonna get to that. Let's give you the watch this. Boom, boom. Okay, very important. This was a really bad area of the office. So this room is above us is the master bedroom. So this is actually a basement. So this here is as a result of there's like brick on the outside of the house that's like bumped out. So it's left this void in the house. So to get around to make it useful, we made it a bar area that you can just sit at. There's a stool over there that you can sit at and work. But of course you need power.
I love those.
So wireless power, wireless charging power, whatnot. So I sit up here and work a lot just because it's something different. And then we lit.
I like that one. Can you share me a link for that device? I know they're not cheap, but I need one.
Oh, it was totally cheap. It was like $50.
Really? Most of the ones that I find are like 200.
No, this isn't very much at all. So we've got a couple of workstations for our crew. So there's stand-up desk and another stand-up desk. Make sure I don't plug my. No, this is the fun part about going live. Let's cut the zip tie that's about to unplug mine. So. We needed storage, so nothing big about the storage, but we're building 2 sets of signs for each of the companies. My cousin has a 3D printer, and I'm sorry, not 3D printer, a laser cutter, a big like giant laser cutter, and he's cutting out. We're gonna cut out signs and backlighting and all that, and then turning a little more. Blackboard, conference table, and then my wife's desk is there, And then there's...
I love the barn doors, man.
Oh, well, so that's the west, and that's where the sun comes in the afternoon. Yeah. And the only way to get the light in, like at times like this, but then be able to block it, was to have something where, one, it didn't look like, I don't know, not a living room or something, but
right.
It was those little barn doors. So fun little tour around HQ.
You gotta put those on some servos and have Alexa open those doors for you.
They're heavy, so our guy made them. They're I guess you could call them handmade. They are oak. It's like 2 layers, and it's like dimensional oak lumber.
Yeah, it's nice.
But I think each door is like 200 pounds, maybe. I mean, it took 2 guys to get them hung up and whatnot. But you close them, right, and the lights blocked out. So when the sun is really beating in the back of the house, like it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm lucky that there's literally a window right here next to me, and I put this like blackout vinyl on the glass on the top half of each window. And it's enough so that you don't see all the stripes casting past me as we stream here. But most of the sun comes in on the west side of my house, obviously too, and I'm very, very far away from that. So
yeah, my desk used to be over there. Used to be in that corner where the blackboard is, but what's been really neat about it, and I guess the reason I show it is we made the space. We decided to lean in and make it a proper office, and that was the thing that really changed how we use the space and what we can do with the space. Like, get a desk that's on wheels because you want to stream. Have a nice backdrop. I mean, this is just pine. Like there's nothing special. It's just pine and it's painted.
It looks nice.
Yeah, but coming up with something that just, we can move around and look at and wanted to look at. Now the echo's horrible in here now that we have hard floors, and we put up brick, but whatever.
That's all right though. So there's no video games down there anymore?
No.
Last time I was at your house, which has been some years, I know your kids had the Xbox set up.
So I'm sitting where the TV was. This is the couch would have been on the opposite side. This is still the electrical for TV. So in case we move or whatever, like it's a bigger pain than trying to pull it from the wall than anything else. But
of course,
whatever.
Awesome, man. So the thing I was saying is like all that goop that I have below my video, the rules of the place, the schedule, all that stuff. It fills it in. It gives people more information about like what to expect.
Have you ever thought about just making a web page that's got all of that stuff too?
Yeah, but if they find me here, they're gonna go here.
Oh, totally. I get that. Yeah, I more so meant like finding a broad or being able to point people to more.
Yeah. No, I have that for that.
Oh.
And I'm not done building yet, so it's still a work in progress.
Look at you go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Animators and all sorts of stuff in there.
Don't tell me there's some WordPress crap.
No.
I will slice you.
No, not WordPress, I promise. Hosting it myself, it's actually a static website living in an S3 bucket with the domain name pointed at it, but yeah.
What you use?
Well, this is just a template, but it's all React behind the scenes.
All right, keep going. Gatsby, Hugo. Well, you said just React. You're just pumping out a React website.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Yep. That's what we do all day long.
Yeah, I need to hire you to build me a bunch of stuff. But anyway, that's the thing that I'm working on. I just haven't had a ton of time to focus on silly websites.
We put the Twitch player up on Unspecified today.
I saw that. Trade Last mentioned it, and then I went and checked out your page and saw we're streaming on there.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That'll have to go up on the page for sure.
We're getting there. We finally cobbler shoes problems, right? We build stuff for everybody else, and we often forget about ourselves, or don't find the time to do it for ourselves.
All right. Well, I can't believe it's already after 4 o'clock. We started talking at like 8 a.m., didn't we?
We did. I appreciate the time. There's a list of things to do, so I'm going to get Streamlit set up. I'm certainly going to, bless you.
Thank you.
Certainly going to have to figure out the chat and if everything that's going there, but slowly get it set up. Our plans are, what is today, Tuesday? Do it Tuesday and Thursday. Thanks, Trailheist. And we're going to do TC Monday and Wednesday. So that's 4 days a week. But we'll see. I mean,
that'll do it. There's another thing that I want to tell you about because I'm going to do it to you at some point. There's a concept on Twitch called rating. And that's where I'm watching, I'm streaming, right? So I'm live, I have my audience, we're doing whatever. And then I decide I'm done. So normally you would just end the stream and you'd be done. But in that moderator's show, the black screen that I showed you that was like the moderator view.
Yep, that's what I'm looking at.
There's a place in there where you can choose to rate a channel. And what that does is takes everybody that was just on my channel and it immediately changes the page they're on to be your page. And so I'm just like sending you all of my viewers and I say, hey, we're going to go rate. And usually they'll all show up and they make a bunch of noise in the chat and like it's a little chaotic for you, the person that's being rated. But if you can wrangle them all in and be like, oh my gosh, because you get all these warnings in chat that'll be like, hey, Jeff Blankenberg's rating your channel. And all these people start showing up and they start adding to your chat or whatever. And if you can handle it and just be like, hey, everybody, here's what we're working on right now. Come join me, right? Like, and you can just wrangle them in. It becomes this really cool experience where people are all of a sudden like, oh, cool, I'll stick around. So it's a way to like take the audience I have and fire them off to the next place. And some of them will leave and some of them won't. But that's a kind of a cool feature of Twitch is the rating, because you can, instead of wrapping up and just closing the stream, shoot everybody off to somebody else and like make it a party.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun with this.
Cool. All right. Well, listen, man, you know I'm always available to chat if you have questions or whatever. So.
You know I'm gonna hit you. I appreciate it.
Yep. Sure, man.
So how do you end these things? What's the proper way? Like I'm out, drop the mic.
I would, if it were my stream, what I would do is I would flip back to my camera only mode, and I would look straight into the lens, and I would thank everybody for coming and being here and participating in the chat or whatever, and then remind them when my next stream is, and boom, out.
All right, we're gonna try it.
It's all about being humble, man.
All about fuck yeah. I mean, I thought I was gonna make it through without dropping any. Sure, shit didn't happen. All right, well, Jeff, thank you. See, I can't even find the things. So, Jeff, thank you for the time today and for everybody who came. I appreciate it. Obviously, we're just getting started and we don't know what we're doing. So, thank you for coming. And let's see, what is today? Tuesday? We're going to be on Thursday. And I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but it'll be riveting. So
awesome. Well, thanks for having me. This was awesome.
You know it. They appreciate it.
Later.